being a public voice is this driving force. I'm starting to come into my own and really see what my role and what my impact is within the community, and maybe even what my legacy may be.
The political climate is right, the environment is right, people want to do something, and I think this is a moment where I could really offer something and kind of influence policy.
My role is really just to speak as honestly and clearly as I can based on my own experience, and to talk for the experiences for the people who are unable to express themselves.
Right now we're in a very polarizing time, and a lot of our fellows are finding themselves deciding what matters to me, and do I need to take a stand on it?
It's a really important time in our history that all of us need to really take action about the things that we believe in and not just wait for someone else to make a difference.
I'm currently working on a piece about child sexual abuse prevention and talking about different aspects of it, like why is it not something that we talk about regularly in society when 1 in 5 women has experienced child sexual abuse. I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse, and I'm dealing with the effects of PTSD to this day. How are we going to address these issues as a society if people aren't willing to speak up?
I imagine that if I wrote about being a Muslim, being American, that I thought I would get a lot of hate mail. But I actually haven't. I've been really pleased with the outpouring of support from just random people. Actually, every time I get one of those emails, I want to write more.
Knowledge is this process of accumulating a lot of information and being informed about the big picture. So I'm trying to tell a complex story.
As a scholar, I'm not here to sway a person in one way or the other, but my whole hope is that I'm going to give you enough evidence that you're going to be able to make a comprehensive decision for yourself.
There's a difference between disagreeing with the consequences of findings and the findings themselves. You could get 100 people looking at the same fact and they could all have different meanings and implications for themselves. That doesn't change that fact is a fact.
This moment in history, because we have so many issues that are on the table. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of passion.
There is really no limit to how much that we can create together.
Something that I've just been working on lately is a story about the border. And I grew up in Nogales, both sides of Nogales, 10 years on the Mexican side and 8 years on the US side. So I wanted to write about the wall from someone who's lived on both sides of the wall. Seems like everybody has an opinion, but they don't ever interview the people who live there and have it as part of their lives every day. And so I've got a perspective that a lot of people don't have.
The piece that I wrote was about a group of nonverbal teenagers with autism who are in the process of discovering their voice through a new kind of therapy that my son is doing, also by pointing to letters on a letterboard. And I got a lot of positive feedback from the article. It was pretty overwhelming, and it's really made me realize how important it is to get other stories out besides what's in the mainstream.
Recently we found 2 male jaguars, well, we meaning people in Arizona, wandering through our forests, and that was really exciting. So my piece there was a call to the reader and fellow Americans to consider the impact of what the construction of a border wall would have for our jaguar. It's the last large cat in North America, and we should be protecting him and helping him find a mate.
I've written 2 pieces, and one was specifically on the DACA the Dreamer students, and then my second piece was on the immigration raids. And with both of those, they went through Facebook and Twitter, and I received several emails of students, former students that I didn't realize were DACA students, and they were very grateful that I was being their voice, and for their families too.
I published the trans piece and I got it out there on Facebook and Twitter and whatever, and I got tons of great responses. One from a fellow physician at the university, and we're going to be working on a trans education for medical students and residents in training for the entire medical school.
The ideas that we put out in the world are the blueprint for the culture that we get. It's about which wars we fight, which diseases we fight, who will go to college, who will go to prison, who the police force will protect, who the police will see as threat, who will go down in the history books, and who will shape our future.
The vision is the most important thing. I think people don't see how to get out of the quagmire, and I think that's definitely part of our job, to be visionaries. As activists, community activists, because without the vision, you really have no hope.